Hey, uplifters, welcome back. I'm Aransas Savas, and I've spent 20 years at the intersection of behavior change research and coaching, helping midlife women do big, brave things. Every week on this show, I get to talk to an inspiring woman in the second half of her life to learn how we can all do big, brave things in midlife. Before we get into this episode, I want you to think back to the day you got your first AARP mailer. What did you do with it? Personally, I hid mine under a stack of mail to avoid it. But not our guest today. She set the freaking thing on fire. And then she decided that if nobody else was going to create the magazine she actually wanted to read at this stage of her life, she was going to do it herself, which is the kind of moxie I live for. Research tells us that we are primed in midlife for this kind of creative courage. There was a 2024 meta-analysis published in the journal Intelligence run by a really incredible Australian team that found that across multiple measures, we actually reach our peak creative and intellectual output later in life. So not in our 20s and 30s when, yes, we might be better at chess, though I was never good at chess, but well into our 40s and 50s and beyond. Once all that raw processing power slows down, our wisdom and pattern recognition and our sense of purpose and identity certainty take over. That is a prime environment for doing big, brave things. So this week we're talking to Laura LeBleu. She's the founding editor of Geezer Magazine, my favorite name ever, about starting a print publication in this weird, intangible digital age. We're going to talk about betting on yourself, about creativity in midlife, and what it really takes to age on your own terms. Laura LeBleu's career has always revolved around storytelling. She's an actor, a writer, an Emmy Award-winning TV producer, a cabaret performer, a stilt walker, a circus ringmaster, and some might say a minor gay icon. At 54, she channeled all of it into founding Geezer Magazine, which is a lushly printed quarterly that describes itself as the love child between The Atlantic and Mad Magazine. It is written by and for Gen X. The first print run was 5,000 copies. It cost $80,000 and was funded entirely by Laura's stock options. It's weird and soulful, and it's utterly disinterested in telling you where to retire. So, Laura, welcome to the Uplifters. I am so glad you're here, my friend.
My gosh, I need you to be my intro person everywhere, in perpetuity throughout the universe.
Aransas and Laura go on the road. It gets weird and fun.
So weird, so fun. I like to say that midlife is just weird in ways that no one warned us about. It's such a strange time.
I literally named one of the chapters of my book. We'll see if it gets through editing. Embrace your weird.
Yeah.
Because it is. This is the time. So take us back before Geezer became the it print magazine for midlife women. We are manifesting that. Where were you? What was going on with you? What made you say, I'm going to take this big financial risk and invest my hard-earned stock options in making a print magazine?
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. A lot of this can be traced back to me turning 50. It really can be. And I hate to be a walking midlife cliche, but I turned 50 and I reevaluated everything in my life. And I'm talking about everything, including a very long-term marriage, which I ended up leaving. And because I realized that I've been in service of pretty much everyone else my entire life, which I think is a very typical storyline. Again, trotting the cliches, but I've always been a pretty high achieving person, and I've always tried to find new ways to express myself, but I was never able to fully embody that. And so here I am, I turned 50. I've been writing for other people, whether it was when I was living in New York City, I was working in the advertising industry as a creative director and copywriter. And then I moved back to the Bay Area and I got sucked into the technology industry. So I had been writing about technology, which, configuration management database is not exactly the most exciting thing to be applying my creative energy toward. I realized that I've spent all of this time taking care of my husband, my now ex-husband, making sure like his career, not career actually, he actually stopped working. That was another issue, but he is a car guy and he ended up, I was like supporting him being in the garage for 5 years while I made all the money. I took care of our son. This isn't to disparage him, it's just the way it was. And if I were him, I was like, sure, why not? What a deal, right? So between putting all this energy into a career that didn't express myself, into taking care of my husband, taking care of my son, I kind of lost my mind. So that is the base layer of where Geezer came from. At the same time, the person who I co-founded the magazine with, his name is Paul von Zielbauer. He has a Substack called Aging with Strength. And so I was talking with him a lot about, okay, what is it to get older? He's older than me. He's 59. I'm 54. And one day, lo, a ray of light shone down as I was in the shower. And
as it does.
There's
research on that too. Neuroscience seriously says, if you have creative blocks, go take a shower.
Yep. I was there, I just think about aging and, oh my God, what is my new life going to be like? How can I find a way to express myself in a way that felt genuine to me and put something into the world that seemed to be important, not just to me, but hopefully a lot of people. And yes, I did light my AARP card on fire. Nothing against them. Go get your discounts. I'm a member, but I'm not going to be like, ooh, yay, my AARP magazine came, right? So there I was in the shower and I was like, I'm going to make a print magazine and I'm going to call it Geezer. And it's going to be about kicking ass in your second half. I walked out of the shower and, I talked to Paul and I said, hey, by the way, I'm going to do this with you or without you. You want to be a part of it? And he said, yes. So the name Geezer is literally a focus group of my cerebral cortex. That is it. And I found that some people love it. Some people hate it. And I'm like, no, it's tongue in cheek.
I'm in the love camp.
See, it's very polarizing, but I'm actually fine with that.
That's
because
kind of the point, isn't it?
Right, exactly. I mean, I like to say we're pre-geezering, like we're just going to own it now. Okay. But yeah, that was kind of the emotional landscape, the creative landscape where I was. And that is how Geezer came to be. And it's been such a thrill, so much work. Financially a risk. But I thought, you know what, why not invest in myself and my vision? That's what I have worked for 25, 30 years as a professional writer. And I was lucky enough to be with a company that has done well. I had the funds and it was just a big leap of faith. Screw it kind of moment. I'm going to do it. Because if not now, when? That's what I always ask myself. So
are you in general a F it, let's go person, or was this a departure for you?
No, I'm definitely really good at taking ideas and putting them into action. I'm good at producing things and I have enough energy and kind of ignorance, I think. I have a tendency to be super optimistic. I'm a little bit of a la person when it comes to, okay, what are the bad things that could happen? That's the kind of thing you do when you're young, right? You're just like, screw it, I'm going to do it. And somehow I've just kind of retained that. So I just love making things and I love creating partnerships with people. This stems directly from my theater background. Because producing theater, learning how to create a theater company, producing theater, working with so many of the different people, you have to coordinate, you have to get them on the same page, you have to have a vision. Every single one of those skills transferred just beautifully to creating a print magazine.
I love that you bring that up because I actually think it's one of the core tenets of this idea of midlife courage. And especially when it comes to creative pursuits, but frankly, anything we want to do in midlife, there's a very good chance that the way we're going to do it is by enlisting all of the accumulated resources of the chapters that came before. We hear in you like the money, yes, the stock, yes, the business experience, yes, the creative, youthful experience, yes, the people around. You've reinvested all of that. So Like, did that give you more courage and feel a little bit safer making this bet on yourself? Because it was, you talk about it as a financial risk. That's a pretty big financial risk.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a lot of evidence out there that people want print things right now. Businesses are shutting them all down.
I have a tendency to look at the landscape, and when everyone else is zigging, my instinct is to zag.
Mm.
Because I'm like, when the followers, everyone follows in one direction, and I always believe that the pendulum swings. And so if I can be in that other place, if I can be the first one there, and I do believe that there is a print magazine resurgence. We've seen a lot of it, just this need to return to something tactile, to something analog, to something you can actually hold in your hands, as opposed to this like barrage of I call it the empty calories of digital content. We're just like, we're force fed, and we're bloated on it, but we're not satisfied. So that was how I was feeling personally. And then I started looking around. I started following some other print publications. Mountain Gazette is one of them. They're an outdoor lifestyle, and they're huge. So that's Geezer magazine is a very large print. It's 11 by 15. So it is chunky. I definitely took a leap of faith, and it was about rallying a lot. There's no way I could have done this in my 30s or my 40s. This has been waiting for me to do, and it was waiting for me to do it now because of the experience that I've accumulated over the years and the confidence that experience has given me. I don't think I would have had the chutzpah to do something quite this big in any other time. And again, there was that urgency, like visceral urgency of turning 50, looking at my life, reevaluating, and knowing that now was a time to take a big swing.
Yeah. For a lot of us, by the time we start doing new big things in midlife, we've kind of been doing sort of the same stuff for decades. And I know you've done a lot of things, but chances are, like, it's possible this is the biggest learning curve of the last few decades for you.
Man, so much so. I know how to tell stories.
Hmm.
That's been my consistent throughout theater, throughout writing. I get a good story, and I'm good at, like, finding them in other people too. But I didn't know how to make a damn magazine. I had no idea. And Paul, who is he's an ex New York Times journalist, so he's a investigative journalist by training, but neither one of us had ever worked with a printer, had ever had to create a fulfillment or like work with a fulfillment system, because oh my gosh, we get subscribers, now we got to make sure everyone gets their magazine, right? And then there's marketing. Although I've worked in marketing, as a writer, I've never had to start to come up with a strategy, feed the social media beast. I've started so many conversations over the last year with the sentence, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, hey, I'm doing this and I know I'm going to do it, but I don't really know how. So I come with just kind of this openness, with trying to cultivate that beginner's mindset and ask for help and allow people to help me, which has not been my strong suit over my life.
Mm-hmm.
Competent, I can take care of everything, no problem, or I got it. And if I tried that shit, can I cuss on this? Can I cuss on this podcast?
I mean, I think I already did. We're good.
Good. I'll swear like a sailor if you let me. But yeah, I just I could not pretend to know something I didn't know when so much was on the line. And it's been so liberating to be able to just come in and say, help me. And when you do that, people connect to you, they appreciate the vulnerability. And then my job is to listen to the right people, take their advice, and then execute on it.
Yeah. I think that's another big takeaway from your story so far is enlist your community, both as a resource, but also and partnership and collaboration to make you better, to make the thing better, and to make it all feel less lonely. Because that is definitely one thing I've learned from the last 160 episodes is nobody does big, brave things alone.
No, not
It's too
possible.
freaking hard. It's
Not
too
possible.
lonely. You lose all the rewards and the benefits.
It's no fun. Like to me, I mean, I'm kind of Paul likes to say I'm a pack animal. Like I'm more of I'm definitely like, boop, 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 let's do stuff. And to me, the joy is doubled when you have a partner to share it with, or people that you're sharing with, or a group or whatever. It just, maybe that's why I gravitated towards theater when I was so young, because I knew I needed to find my people, which being born in El Paso, Texas was not necessarily the easiest thing because I was always a freaky little kid, So, I mean, that theater cliche definitely exists for a reason, right? But yeah, you can't do things on your own. And even a one-person show has massive crew that is there supporting. So embrace help and ask
Embrace
for
it and
it.
acknowledge it. Yeah. So one of the things you talk about is betting on yourself
Mm,
after a lifetime of betting on others. You were betting hard on your employers. You were betting big on your husband. You were betting big on your child. Like, what were some of the thoughts and fears and worries that came up for you when you were like, no, Laura, you're going to
mm.
bet on you?
Yeah, it's not. I think I'm not going to say it's not natural. What I'm going to say is it's not culturally. That's not a cultural message that women are given,
Mm-mm.
right? From the very beginning, we are, we are often cast as a supporting roles in our own lives.
Mhm.
There were a lot of things that I had to, even though I am the like, come on, kids, let's put on a show sort of a person, there a lot of insecurities come up when you're betting on yourself. And I don't think I've actually talked to this about anyone before, but I've always had, I won't say it's imposter syndrome, but there's always been something in the back of my head that said I was never creative enough, that I'm good at things, but
Mhm.
not great at things.
Mhm.
This kind of absolute fear of mediocrity in what I'm doing and how I'm expressing myself. That's hard, and I think that kept me back from much of my life. And that's
Mm.
reasons why I was mostly content to just create for other people.
Mhm.
I wasn't putting myself, my soul, my tossing my innards out and saying, hey, people, is this okay? Am I all right? It was easy to create for other people. So I had to really grapple with that and to kind of beat down that little voice that told me, well, you're creative, but you're not creative enough. You're a good writer, but you're not good enough. And, just kind of saying, fuck it. I'm not going to know if I'm good enough unless I actually get out there and put things out there. And
Mhm. Mhm.
it has been, my gosh, it has been probably, I think, just one of the most gratifying things in my entire life to put this magazine out that really is my heart and soul, and to have so many people come back to me and say, I love this. People I'm not even related to. Just, I mean, it makes me kind of teary because there are strangers out there who are reading what I'm putting together and it's touching them. They're connecting to the wavelength that I'm broadcasting out into the world. That has been, that's changed my life. It really, really has. And I hope that anyone out there, if they're wondering if they feel the same way, I hope they will try. I hope they will just get out, use their voices, and there is something about broadcasting on that frequency when your people will find you. The geezers are coming. They're hearing the call. The flock is growing.
I love this so much. And from a storytelling perspective, I want to pause on it because I think what you've done with the name Geezer is you've had a pretty strong point of view about who you're talking to and who you are. And so you described it now as putting your innards on the line, putting your heart and soul out there. And what I take from that, right, is this lesson that actually, like, there was something Suleika Jawad said in an event I was at a while back that I thought was so good. She said, if you want to write a good book, write the book you want everyone to read. If you want to write a great book, write the book you want no one to read. And I think what she was saying there was like, don't play it safe.
Yeah.
Be bold, have a point of view, own your own perspective, and there will be people who don't like it. There will be people who disagree. And the only way to get that kind of visceral response that you're talking about there, where it's like, oh, my heart, I feel seen. Other people see the world I do, is to be honest about what you see and what you want. Like, otherwise you get like a response to something that wasn't even true. And so then it doesn't even feel all that meaningful. You said that for anyone who wants to go and create something, your answer would be go do it. And for the person who feels scared out of their minds because they're afraid that no one will want it or that no one will be interested, what do you say to them?
Don't wait for other people. Don't wait for anyone else to give you the green light to do what you want to do.
Yes, I just wrote that chapter of the book yesterday. I was like, do not wait for the gatekeeper.
Nope.
Yep.
You have got to just, if I had waited, it would have just never happened, right? You can't let someone be the person telling you yes or no for something that you are burning to do. So just take the reins, jump on that pony, get going.
Yeah. And if you fall off, get back on.
Our Texas is coming out.
Exactly.
Failure means that you're making progress. I mean, hopefully it won't be my magazine that I put all this money into, but I will say if the wheels come off, if this thing doesn't keep going, I will have zero regrets because I will have done it, because I will have taken the leap. I might fall flat on my face. Who knows if it's sustainable? I think it is. I hope it is. But if I project 25, 30 years, when I'm on deathbed, when I'm 117 or whatever I'm going to live to, my regrets would be the things I didn't do. And so screw it. I'm not going to regret this. I did it.
I love that so much.
I feel like we've just taken like maybe 5 or 6 baby steps on the road to what Geezer is going to become. It's a matter of letting go of some things for me.
Mm-hmm. Say more on that.
Yeah, my tendency is, and this is something I've known for a long time about myself, is that I'm like, I'll just do it myself. I'll just take care of it myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a downfall of any operation that wants to expand beyond the founder. So I need to find ways to let go, to allow other people to ask other people to come in and help us grow into whatever freaky magical creature Geezer is going to become over the next, hopefully, 5 or 10 years. And I would really love to do, like, I'm 95% convinced that my job as it is will not exist rather than later. Balancing these two things is difficult. But as I transition out of that space, Geezer, I want this to be my second half. I want this to be my life. I want this where I live and play and share and grow for the next 25 years.
That's so exciting. And I can tell even as you say it, that it turns you on. And like, that's what we want, right? Like we want to imagine a future that we're like, oh my gosh, how crazy cool would that be?
Like, it's so
like, what a ways to be like, oh, my future, how
like
nice.
Right,
like no, I don't want how nice. I want how delicious.
No. Society has told us that we're in our 50s. We should be ramping down. We should be getting ready to shuffle off to some place in Florida and margaritas. And I'm kind of like, I don't think that's going to happen for me. As much as I want to go live on a beach in Belize or something, I'm like, I can run a magazine from there. Okay.
Yes.
slowing down. I truly, truly feel like I am just hitting my stride as a human at age 54. And that has to do with the creativity. It has to do with all the life lessons I've learned. It has to do with the courage to really remodel my life in a way that finally serves what I've always wanted to be and what I've always wanted to do. And so I'm like con fuego, man. I am so ready. I'm so ready to make this a joyous, hopefully successful, well-read magazine and community that I think we can build up around it.
Yeah. We are all in this together.
Everyone, you guys are all welcome.
Yes, we are in this together. So as uplifters, we love to uplift other uplifters. How can we help you get to those goals? What do you need?
First thing is really subscribers. I need to, in order to make this sustainable, I need people to find it, to love it, and to pay for it.
Yep.
So go to geezermagazine.com, become a subscriber. All uplifters will get a 15% discount. You can use the code UPLIFT15, and it'll be a way of supporting this project and also getting a kick-ass magazine.
Yes.
Love.
Yes. I can't wait to have it on my table and to read through it, and for my kids to read through it. I want to overwhelm them with evidence that aging is not something to fear. Yes. And they got it through my amazing grandmother, and they get it through my mom, and they get it through my life, and they'll get it through this magazine, because we know now that we cannot do big, brave things alone. Every guest of the podcast nominates another guest, some woman who uplifts her, who's out there doing big, brave things. So who would you like to nominate, Laura?
Today, I'm going to nominate Angela Burke. Now, this is kind of wild. We both worked in the same technology company. She quit a while back. And the reason she left the company was to write her own book called A Real Girl's Guide to Midlife.
Love it.
And she's just struck out on her own. She's self-published. It's a great book. The fact that both of us separately, without even knowing what the other person was doing, that we both did this, and then we reconnected, and it was like, oh my gosh, wait, you're doing that, I'm doing this. Let's, your chocolate goes awesome with my peanut butter. Let's talk. So she's another woman who has taken a big leap of faith, put the chips down and bet on herself. And so I would love for her to get some uplift from this group as well.
I love it. I can't wait to read the magazine and her book. So uplifters, if this conversation resonates with you, please follow Laura LeBleu and Geezer over on Substack. Follow the Uplifters podcast on Substack. And over there is where I will share every week all sorts of neuroscience tips, strategies for doing big, brave things in midlife, like Laura. I can't wait to see where you and Geezer go, Laura. And I'm just so excited to be connected, and so grateful to everybody out there listening and creating this powerful collective shift in the narrative about what midlife is for and what is capable in midlife.
Hell yeah. This is our time.
Thanks for watching the Uplifters podcast. If this inspired you, hit subscribe and tap the bell to stay uplifted. Give this video a thumbs up and share it with someone who needs a little lift today. Big love.
Painted water sunshine with rosemary and thyme. Dwell in the perplexing, though you find it vexing. Toss a star and hover, be your own best lover. Relish in a new prime, plant a tree in springtime. Dance with idle hindsight, bring the sun to twilight.